Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see, Rodney is here with me again. He was with me a few videos ago. We did a couples Q&A. If you haven't checked that out already, go ahead, check that out. I'll link it below. But I had did a poll on Instagram asking whether we should do a couples Q&A or share our engagement story. And the votes were pretty much even, so I wanted to try and get you guys both videos. So today we're going to be sharing our engagement story. Alright, to give you guys a really short background on how we met each other, we actually met through friends, we were introduced, and then about a week after we were introduced, we actually met each other in person. We went on a little date to get coffee, and then went to church with some friends, and the rest is kind of history. 2 years passed, we saw each other more, went out more, and then we got engaged.
Yeah, in regards to the actual engagement, I guess I can speak more about that one.
We can talk about how the whole process went down.
Sure. So I knew when 2020 started in January that I wanted to propose. At work, we had a whiteboard where we had listed New Year's resolutions. And in fact, another coworker of mine had put get engaged on there. And I thought, me too. So I put it ×2 and started that whole planning and asking her parents. And when I was planning, we had a couple of trips planned at the beginning of the year. We're planning on going to the Grand Canyon around Easter time, and then Nashville
for my birthday.
For her birthday during the summer. So I had thrown up which time to ask her or if I should do it on a different day. And I decided I was going to try to do the Grand Canyon because her family had scheduled this excursion and glamping, and it seemed like the stars aligned for this perfect time for a memorable engagement. Well, then in mid-March, COVID-19 ramped up and California was locked down. You couldn't even go to work. So we ended up having to cancel our trip like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, before we're supposed to go.
The end of March, we had to end up canceling it. Well, I started then reevaluating what we could do to try to see if we could make it work, either that date or maybe wait until we went to Nashville in the summer. And ended up, I was going to continue to try doing the Easter weekend. We had been talking a couple times. We'd wanted to do some nice photo shoots. Yeah. We didn't really have a ton of nice photos that weren't selfies, so we wanted to actually hire a photographer and do some nice photo shoots. That's how I had framed it, that we were going to do a photo shoot.
Which is something we had talked about previously, so it didn't like spark anything in my head that like, oh, is he going to propose or anything? I'm like, oh, we're finally going to get that photo shoot done.
Yeah, so I figured out the new way, and now I needed to figure out how and where. So those were like the next two. And what I mean by how is it going to be with a picnic, or I know we already mentioned a photo shoot, but how logistically was I going to get from a plan of a photo shoot to being on a knee? I'd reached out to some friends if they knew anybody, and they ended up knowing someone and reached out to him. He said he would do it.
Picked a location.
Exactly. The location we picked was Woodward Park. Woodward Park was a local park in Central California, the Valley, and meant a lot kind of to us. We had done a lot of hammocking there, hiking there, running there, took Sadie to the dog park there.
We frequently went to Woodward Park.
Yes.
Whenever we had time.
And actually, it was one of those spots where we frequented that I had planned for our proposal. Yeah. My proposal. Now that we had the photographer, the location, and the how, everything was...
It was set.
A go. We were going to do a Saturday, and Friday at around noon, the city council decided to shut down the park. Now, they had previously kind of shut down the park. They didn't allow cars in and out, but you could walk across the street there and exercise and get out and about. But this was different because apparently they were having police patrol the park because they were scared that with it being Easter weekend, people would ignore the stay-at-home order and meet with family and barbecue and stuff.
Just have too many people like gathered at once. So they just decided just Saturday and Sunday of Easter weekend, they were going to shut down the park.
So Friday night, my photographer contacts me and says that he is a no. He was scared that we were going to get into trouble and this and that with police, and he just didn't want to do it. But I was committed. I was like, you know what? If this gets me into trouble, at least I'm freaking engaged. Then I tried to find another photographer, and I did find another one, but she wasn't the most comfortable with
Just hadn't
engagement. She
yeah,
hadn't had the experience that made her comfortable with it. So ended up just calling it off. I couldn't find a photographer. So then trying to figure out our Easter plans, we decided that Saturday we would go to my parents' house, and then Sunday hers. And we live about an hour away, or our parents live about an hour away. And so then I was still weighing whether or not we were going to try to do it at my parents' house. I live out in the country, and my mom, I remembered, has a pretty nice camera from back when I played sports and football and stuff. She invested in a nice camera. So I remember she had that, and I ended up actually asking her, like, hey, if we decide to go through with it, do you mind being the photographer?
Right.
Are you comfortable with that? And she said, of course.
Side note, too, he's, like, pushing for this photo shoot, and I'm, like, not really understanding why. So I'm like, let's just wait till next weekend. Like, the park's going to open up next weekend. We can go to Woodward, whatever, find a new photographer. Like, I don't want him to be stressed out. Like, it's okay. And he's like, no, like, I think we can take it. It'll be some cool places at my house and all this kind of stuff. So,
So I live out again in the country with like old abandoned railroads and like some nice trees and orchards and so there's a lot of different locations to pick from.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to go pick her up on Friday, I'm still not sure if I'm gonna propose on Saturday or not. I had the ring, I brought some clothes for potential photo shoot, but I was just kind of going to go roll with the flow. Then on the way to my parents' house, I ended up texting my mom and her mom saying, it's happening. So,
going down.
Get ready. And so again, that was Friday night. And I know she was pretty frustrated. We kind of, not got in a fight, but we were irritated with each other on Friday late afternoon. It
was just hard. I'm pretty sure I was at work that day too. And so like, we're trying to communicate, figure this out. Things are canceling. Things are getting closed down. And I'm like, you know what? Like, let's just move on. Forget it. But he was like persistent. And then all this stuff. So there was like some irritation for sure.
And I'm a very like punctual person. So I typically show up either on time or like 5 minutes before. Something must have happened if I'm like late.
And he was like running slow.
I was like 30 minutes late to pick her up.
I'm like, what is going on? Like, he said he was going to be here. And like talking to my mom, I remember being like at home talking to my mom, like, he said he was going to be here. I don't know why he's so late. Like, I haven't even heard from him. And my mom, like, knowing what's going on, he had already texted her, was like, just be patient. Like, he has a lot on his mind. Like, it's okay. I'm like, what in the world? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So moving forward to going to my parents' house, I texted both of our moms, told them that I wanted to do it. So then Saturday morning comes around, and I hide the ring in the camera bag, and then tell her, hey, let's get ready. We're just going to go mess around and take some photos.
And luckily I had some like cute clothes and makeup and stuff because I don't normally have that stuff with me at his house, but I was planning to get ready for Easter. So, thank the Lord. I actually had makeup, I had a straightener, and a cute outfit.
So, we got ready, went and took pictures. Again, we took it at some old abandoned railroad crossing.
Yeah, some cool areas.
Some like eucalyptus tree areas over by a canal bank. And then finally, I told Jessica to go walk down there, and I would talk to my mom to see like a good distance for her to stand.
Yeah, we're like.
So Jessica's like walking with Sadie, and while she's walking, I sneak my hand into the camera bag and grab the ring, put it in my back pocket.
No idea what's going on over here.
She's walking the other way. Then I walk up to her. We take a couple more pictures, but they were weird.
Just pictures.
Yeah, we were just standing, like there wasn't cute couple poses or anything. And then my mom, I guess the line or the softball that my mom threw up to me that was supposed to set everything up was, I think that's all that I need. Is there anything else that you would like?
Yeah.
And I say, yes, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
One more pose, one more photo. So then I look at Jessica, and she's like looking at me like a deer in the headlights. And I got down on a knee and then asked her, and the first words out of her mouth was, "Are you serious?"
It was shocking.
I was very serious. I had gone through a lot of plans to try to make this happen. And finally, it came to fruition. It kind of worked. Glad I did it then because, in hindsight, COVID hasn't stopped. And for the whole year of 2020, our Nashville trip got canceled as well. So I'm glad we got it to work. It's kind of a fun story saying that it was on the original date, that Easter weekend, which happened to be 2 years after we met exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, and I was oblivious the whole time, but I'd say it turned out wonderfully. I really didn't know what he was going to propose to, like, the moment I told him, like, right when he was staring at me and then, like, going into getting on a knee, like, obviously. So it was pretty perfect. I thought it was pretty special, too. Like, even though the plans of, like, going to the Grand Canyon would have been super cool, we got this, like, special moment where his parents got to take pictures of us getting engaged, and then the day after we got to go to my family and get to announce that we got engaged to them too. So that was super special, and the pictures did turn out beautifully. His mom did a wonderful job. I can show you guys some here. But that's pretty much it, and I said yes, obviously. He picked out a beautiful ring, and now we are just trying to plan our wedding and hopefully have an actual wedding and get married soon. So thank you guys so much for listening to our engagement story. It's really fun to kind of share these things with you guys and have Rodney on the channel as well. That is all we have for you guys today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It supports me so much, and I really, really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!